Hi there, I'm Jill Finley from Jillily Studio, and I'm delighted to be here today to share with you my new Duet foundation piecing ruler. And this is going to be a game changer for you. If you have done foundation piecing in the past, it's the best method ever, and you're just going to love how this works. So I just wanted to show you, first of all, why we even do foundation piecing. Now, some people like it because it gives them really good accuracy on their blocks, but sometimes it's actually necessary. Like on a block like this block, you can see, here's the little block. Do you see that right there? And it doesn't use traditional 45-degree angles, which we can stitch and flip open, because this angle is a little different. In fact, this angle here is 22.5 degrees. So it's an odd angle, and so foundation piecing is a great way to tackle something like that. This quilt is called, let's see, what is this called? This is called Big Sky, and this is from my new Sunny Skies collection. So that pattern's available on my website, and I'll give you that to you at the end of the little video. So anyway, here's our foundation ruler, and I'm going to take it out so we can use it. Let me get this ready. All right, there's our ruler. And I wanted to show you before we get started, it's called the Duet ruler because it has two sides that are used. One side is this really thin little beveled edge that gives you a really sharp point over here, and the other side is a traditional ruler side that has a 1/4 inch line marked on it. The other nice feature about this ruler is that it has the instructions for this method right on the ruler. So you don't have to refer back to this video, you're going to be able to, this will remind you. Okay, so the other thing we need in paper foundation piecing is, of course, we need a pattern, and today I'm going to do a block from the Bramble quilt, which you can see we've got hanging up in the back here. And this quilt uses a lot of foundation pieced blocks. You can see that the star blocks are foundation pieced because they have those tight angles. And the points in the outside border are also foundation pieced. Now in the pattern will come with a sheet that has all the foundations printed on it. And because they're on both sides, you know, you're not going to cut this up. You're going to use this as your master. And then set this aside. I've copied them onto maker paper. And let me just show you some maker paper here. Maker paper is my product. It's 8.5 by 11 sheets, which will fit right through your printer. And it is a heavyweight freezer paper product. Let me show you a single sheet. So it's a little heavier. It's about 3 times thicker than regular grocery store freezer paper, which is really nice. And it's great for making foundations for paper foundation piecing, but I also use it for my templates for applique. And it has a plastic coated side. You can see that there's a little shiny side there, and then just a regular paper side. And this is essential for this method. Now what I've done here is I've copied this page right onto the maker paper. So here's my master, and there's the maker paper, and I copied it so that it printed onto the paper side with your inkjet printer. And that way, the shiny side is available to stick to my pattern, to my fabrics. And I'm going to show you how that works. We're going to make this block. Remember in our Bramble quilt, these are the blocks that are in the outside border. And it's got a tight little point here, and so the foundation method is wonderful for this block. So let's go to the sewing machine. That's the first thing. I'm going to come over here. I've got the foundation already cut out and ready to go. And the first thing I do is take piece number 1. Now on my foundation patterns, I write right on the pattern what size you need to cut, which is nice because you're not guessing if this will fit or not. So the first thing we do, let me move these off. The first thing we do is to press. So I've got to turn my iron on, and I'm going to press this piece that is for Section 1, it says I need black 1 3/4 by 2.5, and that's what I've got right here. And I'm going to put the wrong side onto the wrong side of the foundation, so that either way I look at this block, I'm seeing the right side. On the top, I'll see the right side of the foundation, and on the back, I'll see the right side of my block. So that's the way to remember it. So wrong sides together. Now the first thing I do is press, and because this foundation has that plastic coated side. It sticks temporarily to your fabric. It holds it in place. Okay? So that was the first step. The second step, we're going to use the duet ruler, is to fold. So I place this ruler with the folding edge, the beveled folding edge, right on the line between sections 1 and section 2. So the next section I'm adding is 2. So I'll put my ruler right there and fold. I'm going to give that a little crease and then release the fabric that's there. So I've got that folded. Then I'll take it to my cutting mat, turn my ruler around and use this cutting side. I'm going to measure the 1/4 inch. So you can see I've got my 1/4 inch line right on the fold and trim off my fabric. Okay? Let's just set that aside. Now I'm going to add piece number 2. And when you look on the back, piece number 2 is the red, and it's 1.5 by 4, and I've got that already cut out. It's right over here. This is it, and I'm going to just place this on with the seam allowances matched up so that we won't have to trim after. And now I'm ready to stitch. Now you can see that I've got this placed, let me pull it over here so you can see better. I've got this placed so that this next section that I'm trying to cover is completely on that red fabric. So I don't know if you can see on camera, but I don't have to lift it up and hold it to the light like we did in the traditional method, because I can see through my pattern and I can see this is the section I'm covering, and just make sure that it's sitting right on that piece. And I'm going to stitch right here next to the folded foundation. I don't want to stitch through the paper. I'm just going to stitch next to it. Okay, so here I go. And you can see that my needle is going down right next to the folded paper. And stitch all the way till I'm off of the black fabric. Okay, and now I go to my ironing board. So that's done, and I'm going to go to my ironing board. I'm going to open the fabric and open my foundation, and then I will press. And what's going to happen is this, I press from the top of the paper side, because if I pressed on the other side now, it would stick to my iron because there's a lot of the plastic side showing. But once I get a lot of it covered, you can press from the fabric side. But to start with, make sure as you press that you're folding your fabric all the way open and your paper all the way open. So now you can see I have those two pieces joined, and it's sticking right on the foundation where it needs to be, so it doesn't shift around. It's going to be perfect. All right, the next thing we do is to fold. So we've got our ruler, and I'm going to fold on the section between sections 2 and 3. And I put my fold edge of my ruler right there, and then I'll release the fabrics off of the template. There we go, off of the foundation, sorry. Foundation is what it's called. And then I'll take this to my cutting board and place the cutting side of the duet ruler on the line and cut that off. So now I've got a nice straight seam allowance, and I'm ready to add section 3. And section 3 I've got already cut here. Section 3 is the red, and it's a 5-inch long piece, and I'm going to place it right there. Oops, right sides together. Just like regular stitching, right sides together. And take it to my sewing machine and stitch right next to the fold. Oh boy, it's got folded under there. Okay, now piece 3 is added. I go to my ironing board, open the fabric, open the template, the foundation, sorry, and press. Now let's take a peek. So now we've got sections 1, 2, and 3 on. All right, we're ready to add section 4. So the first thing you do is fold. And you can notice, I don't know if you can see on camera, but I'm putting my folding edge of my duet ruler a little bit to the side, inside the line, so that when that piece is folded, my stitch line will be right under it when it's opened up. So it's just a teeny bit to this side of the line. And then the next step is to trim. Fold, trim, add your next piece and stitch. Now my next piece is white, and you always want to line up your seam allowances, and I want to make sure it's covering this shape. So if I, let's see if you can see here, if I place this too far down like that, you can see that the white is not going to cover all the way to the edge of that shape. Can you see? I don't know if you can see on camera, but you can kind of see through the back of the foundation. You can see the lines where that shape needs to be. And I'll place it so that it's completely covering that section. And then stitch right next to the fold, but not through it. And because of this, I don't need to shorten my seam allowance, my stitch length. I don't need to make those adjustments, and that way it's much better for your quilt. When you're shortening a stitch length, like we used to do in the old foundation piecing method, you're perforating the fabric all the way along and making it weaker. So it's better to keep your stitch length where it is, and then I'll open this up, open your fabric, open your foundation, and press. There we go. We're ready to add the next piece. Section 5 is going on, so I place my ruler. The first thing you do is fold and then release your fabric that's sticking to it so that you can trim it. Okay, I've got that folded. Now I'm going to turn my ruler around and trim. And this trimming step makes it so nice because then your pieces don't have to be fussed with later. It's already exactly how you need it. I'll add right sides together, add my next piece, and go to my machine. Stitch this down next to the fold. And now I'm going to open it up and press. Now this block is complete, but we have to trim it. So I'm going to trim on the outside line. I trim a little bit beyond that outside line so that I can still see the line on my foundation. It's important that I can still see my line because I'm going to reuse this foundation probably many times, and I need to be able to still see where that is. When I've taught this class, sometimes people are trimming and their block gets littler and littler and littler because they can't see that line anymore. So leave your line on there and trim off your excess fabric. Now you can use a trimming ruler at this point if you want, but this little duet ruler is perfect for this as well. So now you can see that my block is all trimmed and it's perfect. And now I can remove my foundation. So I'll just separate the foundation there from the fabric, and then just gently, maybe I'll do this edge first, start at this top. You can peel this off all in one piece, and now your block is perfect. And your foundation is too, and it's ready to be used again. So this method, you don't have to print 99 blocks. So the quilt that I showed you in the beginning called Big Sky had all that same repeating block, and it needed 99 foundations. And if you were doing the traditional foundation piecing method, you would have to copy onto whatever paper you're using 99 foundations. But because we're using the maker paper, I can reuse them and they pull off in one sheet, so you're not perforating it and taking it off in pieces. And so I only had to copy 9. And then I used each one 11 times. So that's a great method and a great time saver, and it's wonderful to give you really nice results. So the things that are very important are the duet ruler and of course your maker paper to print your foundations on, and the duet ruler for prepping it as you go. And this is a method that I know you're going to love, and it's going to give you beautiful results. Like my quilt that we've got in the back here, Bramble. This is the block for Bramble, and let's see, I've got it. Oh, here's the other one. Here's the other one. And those will just seam right together and be perfect. So good luck with your foundation piecing. I hope that helped you. You can visit me on my website, jillilistudio.com, and see all these patterns and a lot of other foundation piecing patterns for you too.